That's really lovely.
You need to stop drinking Coke Zero on stream.
Coca-Cola inaugurates new Gaza bottling plant to donate 1.3 million to provide water. Bro, is she a secret Zionist?
At least pretend. Do it off stream. Please.
Okay, I'll put it in a glass. Is Pepsi okay?
You misunderstand, ma'am. My activism ends where my hedonistic needs begin, okay?
Is it?
You're preaching pro-Palestine and you're drinking with this boycott up, please. Pretend.
This is such a nothing story, although it's not actually a nothing story. It is really interesting to look into the mindset and the psychology of someone who is in such a unique position, and how it kind of confirms a lot of things that most people already know, but they just don't really believe it. When people say money and fame didn't buy happiness, I feel like everyone understands this intellectually, but I bet you, and I know I used to think this, is you sit back there and you're thinking like, yeah, it doesn't buy happiness, but it kind of does, right? Like, I'd be pretty fucking bouncing if I would, like, it's kind of a thing. I feel like that's what most people say. Most people say money doesn't buy happiness or money and fame doesn't buy happiness, but they're sitting there thinking like, bro, I'd be pretty happy. Like, I'd be pretty chill. I'd have all my basics out of the way, and then I can just, have the time and space to focus on what really makes me happy, which I sometimes can't do because of my job or because of my obligations, because of my bills, or because of my fucking keeping up my house. More comfortable crying in a BMW than in a box. I don't know. And I can try to give you a bit of perspective, like from where I sit, because I can completely understand someone being a bit scared and a little bit insecure if you have something like 500 to 1,000 viewers and it starts dropping to more like 400, or then maybe 300, and then maybe 200, and then even like on what you would expect to be a good day, it's still just kind of like sinking slowly, and you're like, oh shit. I had a chance there and I blew it. And because of the way the internet works, is I might never actually know if it was something I could have done differently, or if I did everything right and it was bad luck, and that feeling might just haunt me for the rest of my fucking life. And then I might have to go and get a job, and I have spent so long of my life working either self-employed or in inexplicable jobs like video essays and live streaming, that I'm going to have a pretty hard time explaining myself to an employer when I try to reintegrate into regular society. And I'm going to have people shouting at me, and I'm not going to be able to shout back at them. Like, I don't know, there's a lot going on there. But for like going from around 2,000 viewers in October, November, down to more like 700 to 1,100 or something, that's a little bit like, that would be nice if it had stayed, but God, I don't give a shit. I think it's actually really not an issue. And that's how and I'm a pretty grumpy person. Usually if nothing's wrong in my life, I will find something to be sulky about. That's just what I'm like. My natural state of things is always slightly below happy. Like, that's just how I've always been. But my God, dropping from like 2,000 to 1,000 viewers or something, like that's not a big fucking deal. That's nothing. So I can't really get into the headspace of someone who is on top of their world, on top of their game, like the first and only, really, paved it on his own. Largest political streamer enjoying like viewership that just until recently dwarfed every other streamer in their sphere, and it seems to fuck with him a lot because he talks about it quite a lot. I don't really get that, and I think it's difficult because once you get into that mindset where you're obsessing over the viewer count, and where your energy that you offer to the stream, and where your enthusiasm and your confidence and everything hinges so hard upon that little twatting number, you basically just cause a revert like an infinite feedback loop. Because I sit there thinking, like, if I'm looking at this number right now, 460, and if I was sitting there thinking, if this doesn't go up past like 600 today, or if it starts falling below 400, like that's going to affect my confidence and my fatigue levels and my energy that I offer, well, then it's not going to be a very enjoyable stream. And less people are going to come back tomorrow. And then I'm going to get even more despondent and grumpy and miserable. And then that's going to drop even more and more and more. And I'm like, I occasionally get those kind of pangs, especially when I'm tired or whatever. But like, it's if you find yourself getting pulled down that tunnel, you have to stop. You have to stop and take a step back and break that habit, because you will just completely ram yourself. And when I say ram yourself, you might eventually go from being a 20,000 average viewer to what, an 18,000 or some shit? I don't even. What's going on? What are we actually talking about here? January 2023 to January 2024, we go from 33,000 average viewers down to what, 19,000? 32, 30, yeah. And I can see that messing with you in the fact that it's a really big drop, but it's also a really high number, an ungodly number of people who have stayed around to keep on watching you. Could you imagine being like a musician filling up a venue with 18,000 people? And while we're total subs, pushing 70,000 down to 50,000. Oh yeah, I will say, a lot of the issues that Hasan seems to have, we'll get into it. He seems to be kind of annoyed that his community are very much only demanding one type of content, which is extreme far left partisan politics. That's what he wants. That's what makes him happy, or makes his audience happy. But he wants to do more chill stuff, more kind of like celebrity streamer stuff, real life stuff, apolitical stuff. But the audience are not really buying it. And he has to probably make a choice, which is to try to cultivate a new audience when he branches out, or whilst also letting go part of his audience that is fed up of the lack of zealotry that they expect from a fucking Marxist, Leninist, whatever the Hasan is identifying as. I think this is this is the thing that I first saw. This is the ground zero, at least from my perspective. That somehow got 54,000 likes. So, yeah, okay. I'm so sad. I think the streams are bangers, but people just don't see them. We used to be a community. I hate what my community is becoming. Oh, it's reversed. I'm going to kill myself. I'm done. I hate this job. I'm not streaming today. I swear Twitch streaming isn't about the actual content. It's about whether people want to pay attention to you or not, and clout. All that shit was a banger, and 13K watched. Like I'm gaming at 8 p.m. Bro, 13K. 13K. Chill! Eat a fucking ham sandwich and have a nap. I don't want... Bro. But at the end of the day, this is kind of like the bed that you make, though, right? Because maybe someone can send me the screenshots of him talking about this recently, because I might have to go back and get the clip, so I can't. But we've heard him in the past talking about how he makes it his whole thing, which is to be the beginning of the pipeline into radical far left politics, right? He wants to be the wide end of the funnel, which means he will tone back certain opinions. He won't own, or maybe just didn't even necessarily agree with some of the more extreme stuff, like the no Israeli is a civilian kind of bullshit or whatever the fuck. Yeah. He's told the Deprogram podcast that, yeah. But ultimately, the goal is to bring normies into that pipeline and ease them in a kind of soft way, so that they become more amicable to crazy shit later down the line, which is really kind of a weird thing to do. It's especially weird given that basically all of Hasan's viewers are fucking insane. They're all 14 years old, okay? Unlike you guys who are 16 years old, who are seasoned veterans, seasoned agents, oozing political intelligence. Hasan's viewers are not like that. They're mental. They are fucking horrible. They are basically the reason that Ethan got hounded to the into splitting with that podcast. They are the ones constantly spamming his chat. Whenever every time I get mentioned on his stream, the chat just floods with the amount of people who believe that my dad was a phalangist terrorist because some fucking clueless, deranged, mentally ill retard with a fucking face like a mangled, botched reanimation of Leon Trotsky told them so in a fake tweet. That's the kind of people he's cultivated. And if you want those people are humorless. They are godless, marauding shells of human beings. Of course, they don't care about your real life stream in Australia, running around making friends and doing normal things. They don't care about that. They don't care about that. They are tunnel visioned. They see everything through the lens of Marxist-Leninism. They, I don't know, they don't, people in real life don't really understand where they're coming from. And it's really because they're not very good at explaining their own opinions, or their opinions are just kind of dog and indecipherable to the average person. But they won't tell themselves that. They'll tell themselves that it's actually because they just haven't read enough of the same theory, brackets, Reddit infographics that they have, and they'll get it someday, but they're just not smart enough, and they'll kind of like relish in the idea that not many people in mainstream society understand where they're coming from. They have that kind of like reclusive, like antisocial approach to mainstream society. They fucking, I don't know, they're probably in some stupid like they're probably in some humanities degree. Their poetry is shit, and they blame capitalism. I don't know. This is what I imagine the kind of audience that Hasan has cultivated based on my, albeit limited, interactions with them. But he didn't really need that, though. He has a pretty wide reach. He could easily shed these fucking wankers, these terrorists, which they are, online terrorists, and branch out and, I don't know, just be like a kind of pop celebrity guy who just talks about healthcare. That was my introduction to Hasan. Back when far left politics was kind of becoming the new and sexy thing in like 2018, 19. And me, as someone who had been quite interested in Marxism and socialism, at least to some degree, since I was like 18 in like the 2010, I was like, finally, people are getting into this. This is really cool. It's actually getting like normal people, like people who are yoked talking about this to streams of 10,000 people. I'm like, that's really cool. But that was back when it was like Bernie Sanders, healthcare, tax the rich. People could get on board with that. But the problem is if you subscribe to that kind of movement, is like underlying that was a whole bunch of people, entryists, they might call themselves if they're doing it consciously, is people who wanted to take that to its most extreme, ideologically pure conclusion. And the problem with latching onto movements like that is you either get power quickly or you become irrelevant, because populism or political extremism, like far left either or far right, I will do the horseshoe theory thing here because it works for both sides. You raise people's expectations to unrealistic heights. It's very exciting at the beginning. The rhetoric is very appealing. You start to feel like you're part of a revolutionary change, like the world is like the winds are turning. You have that really inspired feeling, but if that carries on for 5-10 years and nothing happens, well, you either get bored of it or you think it happened because people weren't extreme enough. People who we thought were on our side are actually liberals. They're the enemies, the social democrats, right? They're the ones who are worse than the fascists. Like, that's kind of, you get that divergence, and then you just run out of steam. That's it. It happened with Bernie losing. It happened with the end of Corbyn and the Labour Party. And it's happening with this online sphere as well, is that the craziest fucks are consolidating. The Deprogram podcast is doing fine. Those careers are growing fine. But the more mainstream appealing ones, they've alienated the more center-left liberal social democrat types, but they're also not exactly what the extremists are looking for either. So they're just they're just stuck. They're just stuck. Bastani is pivoting to social conservatism. No, he's not, you fucking moron. We're going to cover that as well, by the way. Bastani, just if someone thinks that someone should go to jail if they stab a person, that does not make them a social conservative, you fucking moron. Stop. We will get into that. Don't you worry. Social conservatism. Bastani is basically he's like of the whole Novara sphere. Bastani is as close as it comes to being like a tanky. He's not a tanky, but he seems to be the closest one to being the one who's like got sympathies with some aspects of the USSR and all that. Like he's fine. If you're on the left, Bastani's fine. Okay, he's got you. He's got your back. All right, just because he thinks policing isn't a terrible thing. God, we're gonna get into that though. Don't worry. Me. But yeah, by the way, this was what I'm saying though. This was compiled by one of my viewers whilst they were at work. They got paid to look at these changes. Aren't really. It's not really that bad. I mean, it doesn't. It's like marginal utility for viewers, right? You know, marginal utility, TLDR. If you give a guy who's got £100 in their bank account another £100, that's like, it's pretty cool. Yeah, they've doubled the amount of yeah, that's pretty exciting. They've got a lot going on. If you give someone who has £1 million in their bank account £100, it's like, what the fuck? Don't care. And that's like why we tax the rich, you know? Yeah. Marginally, it's the same it must be the same with stream viewers, right? When I remember the first time I got like 200 views on Twitch, I was fucking bouncing. Like the first time I got 200 viewers on Twitch without any extraneous force like raids or anything like that, it was really cool. But you know, going from 1,000 to 1,200 is like, all right, even though it's the same number of wankers. But yeah, this is what I mean though. These are the people who are in my community. You know, that's what I mean. Political intelligence. You know, the mature, the mature political analysts spreadsheeting Hasan's decline over the last year. So anyway, I decided to have a look into some of what was going on. I've consulted my most reliable Hasan Piker scholars, the Destiny subreddit. I don't know if this is a recent one, but I've heard him talk about this a few times, so it's all becoming one thing right now.
An overwhelming majority of U.S.-based Middle East scholars say they have felt the growing need to practice self-censorship since the Israel-Hamas war began on October 7th. By the way, there's also a secondary part of this too. Like, there are plenty of fucking progressives who have literally just lost their minds on this and think I've lost my mind as a consequence of that. Like, make no mistake, I've been hemorrhaging both viewership and...
I will say, Hasan, let's let him finish.
And followers since October 7th, nonstop. There are plenty of people who are just straight up like, I'm so progressive, I'm the most progressive person, except for Palestine. When it comes to Palestine, I think you're crazy. The fact that you are like saying things such as Palestinians deserve emancipation is just fucking unacceptable.
Every time someone does this, okay, and I don't hate Hasan, I've told you this. I actually think Hasan's a little bit more complex than people make him out to be. That's just my copium, okay? Maybe I just sympathize on a cultural level with my Middle Eastern brother. But whenever you see someone saying, I don't know, all I did was say that Palestinians are human beings, and people said that's too politically extreme. Mate, no one said there's a problem because you said that Palestinians deserve rights. Okay? I believe Palestinians deserve self-determination. Okay? I believe they deserve that. You don't see anyone coming at me and that's not why. That would be like me saying, all these people have a go at me because I think Israelis are human beings too. All right? Like, because I could say that if I wanted to soy the cock out about it, but like that's not actually why people have a go at me. People from that side have a go at me because they think I'm like in support of genocide or whatever the fuck, right? Like I can understand why people are forming these impressions they do. I don't agree with them. I think they're kind of dumb, but like, yeah, I don't know. But the thing with Hasan is that like again, he's probably experiencing the worst of both worlds because on the one hand, he's done some pretty extreme shit. He has compared the Houthis to Luffy or whatever and basically laughed at the idea of these fucking hostages, these civilian hostages, who are still missing, by the way, months later, laughing at the idea of them doing drugs with Houthis and Houthi sympathizers and apparently being converted because they hate America just as much as the Houthis do. These random 25 wankers on a boat. That's kind of extreme. Basically supporting the abduction of civilians on a boat. But at the same time, Hasan's not as extreme as the people he associates with. He doesn't support the October 7th massacres. I don't think he has actually said that no rapes happened. He just doesn't think it was systematic or whatever. I don't think he supports that either anyway. He doesn't seem to be he's not like a big Hamas fan or anything. Same with like the Russia thing. He's not like a Putin stan or anything, but he does kind of say just enough to make those people happy. But it seems to be the case that why would someone who is that bought in enough to celebrate the Houthis, why would they hear it from Hasan where they could just hear it from someone like Second Thought or Hakim or Bad Empanada and the people who actually just bite every single bullet in the fucking magazine for extremist bullshit, right? So he's kind of like just a little bit lacking in ideological purity, which is maybe why he's not holding on to all of them. But also, he's said more than enough to keep everyone to the right of fucking Joseph Stalin away from him as well. So, at least that's my opinion.
Yes,
I feel like there are other people who could have actually. There are other worlds where Hasan could have grown off of this by being more radical. People like Owen Jones has grown massively off of the Palestine stuff. But he could have also just grown by deciding to just focus like even harder on the niche, right? He could have just shed everyone who has any sympathy for liberal values in his audience. They could have all just gone, and he could have cultivated this weird fucking marriage, this really awkward marriage between between far left Soviet sympathizers and Islamic fundamentalists. He could have done that because there is a market there for that. But yeah, I don't think he's quite committed to that. So yeah, I don't know. Groypers, yeah, I could have got some groypers.
Are still progressive. These people are still progressive. Okay, they are still progressive. It's just that this is one issue where they're not progressive at all.
You see, that's not what a committed Marxist-Leninist would say. You would never describe someone who isn't lockstep with you as still a progressive, but just not on these things. You would call them a right-winger. You would call them fascist. So that's kind of where he's diverging with the sort of like hard left orthodoxy. Okay. The social fascists, yeah. But that's why I say Hasan's he's not quite there. I know some people treat him as the same, but no. You can argue it's not any better, but I mean, this was part of it as well. Let's see. Is this reverse? I feel kind of shit about it, not gonna lie. I'm done. I hate this job. I'm not streaming today. Fuck it. I woke up at 4 to prep. I'm not doing it. If no stream today. Bro, what the fuck is this Discord? I hate what my community is becoming. I hate how much people literally despise any kind of fun content. We killed all the normies. Everyone is like brain broken and only want politics. I don't know. This is a space to convert normies to our politics and people who could enjoy And many of you became like weirdos who don't see that as an important part of the project because you associate leftism with being an annoying douchebag who hates fun. I will say there is an element of, again, you kind of make your own bed because Hasan doesn't always show that much charitability to people who are not as far left as he is. He sometimes does. He shows it to me, but I feel like I'm one of the exceptions in that sphere. Yeah, like you can't just go around telling your highly suggestible, low IQ, fucking dribbling, brain rotted audience that if there are fucking 10 Nazis at a table there's 11 person table and 10 of them are Nazis. No, wait, what the fuck is the fucking... Yeah, if there are 11 people at a table, 10 of them are Nazis, and it's an 11 Nazi table. Okay, Jesus Christ. Or is it not if there's one Nazi at a 10-person table? It's a 10 Nazi table? Yeah, that. Fuck, Jesus Christ. The person in chat wrote it wrong. Anyway, yeah. Only that, yeah, if you're going to tell your audience that, they're going to believe you, and they're going to act in that way. Or when you constantly tell your audience that it's actually liberals always give way to fascism. Liberals, every time they see socialism, they go, oh no, I suppose we better vote in Hitler to keep the goddamn socialists out. Like, if you believe that, which is ahistorical and bullshit, if you believe that, then, and you tell your audience that, they're going to act the same way. If you start hanging around with shitheads who make videos like, what is this? If you start hanging around and endorsing these fucking psycho zealots who have videos like the most dangerous thing in the Western Hemisphere is fucking liberals, and in this initial compilation, do you know who the liberals he's talking about are, right? They're not like sort of center left or like center right Democrats. It's like Elizabeth Warren, fucking Bernie, and like, if you associate with this nonsense, then yeah, your audience is going to follow suit. You lie in the bed that you make. Already seen that one. Sam Hyde, good one, good memes. I can fix this. Okay. I did look at Hasan's sub as well. Let's see what one of them's saying. 800 upvotes. Okay, should be representative enough. I'm writing this because of the messages he sent in Discord yesterday saying that he was disappointed that his IRL streams in Australia had low viewership. Those messages, cropped out of context, ended up on Twitter and Reddit, and there are absolutely disgusting viral tweets / Reddit posts dunking on him for that. But this is not the first time he's complaining about this, which is so annoying to me. Not gonna lie, it's a big turnoff when streamers complain about viewership. Just build strong relationships with who you have there and stop stressing out about who's not. He needs to stop doing this and come to terms with the fact that his viewers watch him mainly for political coverage and don't really like IRL and gaming content. Even back then, when he averaged 30k plus, he always had way less viewers when he did IRL / fun / gaming. This is nothing new. It is what it's like. Like, be thankful that thousands of people are still willing to watch you when you're doing fun content. Also, he always has less viewers when he's traveling. It's mostly a time zone thing. Bad internet connection, tech issues always kill the vibe and people leave. And it's too late for people in the US. I mean, his first IRL stream in Sydney started at 9 p.m. You cannot expect people to stay that late to watch you. I told you, it's past their bedtimes in America. Okay. People are not missing sleep, especially those who work. Ooh, nice save. Nice save, Timothy. Just to watch something they know will be cut together later on YouTube. It's worst for European Hasanabi heads. I live in Europe and I usually watch only the first 3 hours of his stream. What I miss, I watch on YouTube. No matter how much I love watching him, I'm not waking up at 3 to 5 a.m. to watch his Australia IRL streams. He needs to keep in mind that he now averages 20k viewers but has more than twice as many Twitch subscriptions, which means that the vast majority of his viewers did not abandon him. They might not watch him live, but are still subscribed. The landscape has shifted. People are no longer inside. They're touching grass, having life, work, family, etc., and usually watch what he or his fan channels upload on YouTube. Anyway, what I used to say is Hasan needs to chill, relax. Views are always going to fluctuate. Low views count on some days are normal. He just needs to make sure he's loving what he's doing and being genuinely happy with what he's creating. And I really hope this is the last time I see him complaining about this. Not only does this cause him unnecessary stress, but I'm sure it alienates his fan base. See that? You do find some stuff in there when you start browsing the other side.
Oh, souvenirs, mate. You already got your souvenirs. This is so much better. Nor. There's always room for more. It's yours. That pizza doesn't look too bad, right? It's kind of appetizing. Shocking. I'm very hungry. Yeah, we'll eat when we get closer to the area, I think.
I had breakfast earlier, and then I received some news, and it killed my appetite.
You received some news?
Yeah.
What? That you have to work?
yeah. I was like, damn it, dude. I have to film a podcast today. I'm not hungry anymore.
I will say, if you get 13,000 viewers, concurrent viewers for this RL thing, like that, I think that's pretty good, isn't it? What?
I know who I am. I'm a real Aussie, and therefore I'm going to be doing this fucking accent because this is how I talk. Look at these cool statues.
Pretty
Don't know what they're
pretty
supposed to
haunting,
be.
actually.
What?
Pretty haunting, actually.
Yeah,
Where is it when he goes to
creepy.
the?
And I already have the
Where's the fucking?
like. Well, you got out of.
Okay, we've seen. We're gonna get the gist.
Right. And like. Unlock the. Our own bows, man. I get sluggish doing that. You're like used to Sydney. Thank you for this.
There you go.
That's just
Red and
blood.
squid.
I want to see the squid, though.
There you
Oh my
go.
god, you got the shirt
She
and
has the
everything.
merch.
Oh, it's her. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. I love your pants.
Did you ask her?
We've been trying to make our way, but someone had to get fucking squid. I'm a trader. Someone had to stop us
Are
dead
you
in
a
our...
secret Zionist?
Oh, very outwardly. No, I'm joking, no.
What was that question? What was the wait? What did she say?
She has the
This
merch.
wasn't intentional. Just for the rally.
Yeah, let's do it.
Are
I love your pants.
Did you ask her?
We've been trying to make our way, but someone had to get fucking squid. I'm a trader. Someone had to stop us
Are
dead
you
in
a
our...
secret Zionist?
Oh, very outwardly.
Why did she ask that? What's it? That came out of fucking nowhere. There's no prompt for it or anything. Okay.
I'm joking, no.
It's nice to meet you both.
God, I want this guy to make an Israel-Palestine video. It would be fucking incredible.
Nice to meet you, Laura. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's take a photo.
I want a photo with you too, Alexa.
Yay! Thank you. Oh, how do I?
You got this. I got it.
It's crazy that you don't know. Oh, is that how you? Oh, sick! I haven't seen that one. That's sick.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Sick. All right, get in there.
Can I jump in? I've been practicing my feet.
3, 2, 1. Hell yeah.
Thank you. What are you doing?
Sure. Trying to go to the Palestinian protest. Oh, that's over. Just finished.
Well, they're still marching. We're about to pray.
Hi.
Oh shit.
We're still going.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
It's pretty niche that she's got the Jordanian keffiyeh though, right? This one here. The red one, the red and white one. That's the one they wear in Jordan, isn't it? Look at that. I mean, she might be Jordanian.
Oh shit.
We're still going.
Okay, yeah. Okay, we're trying to get you have the
Can I get a photo?
Yeah.
Alright, smile and say Pine Gap. You ready?
Oh, you want me to
One, Pine Gap.
I'm like sneaking into the photo. Stop getting into my photos. Yeah, I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah.
This happens quite a bit. Yeah, of course. Oh, yeah. Thanks so much.
I'm sorry, I forgot
really
to
lovely.
say you need to stop drinking Coke Zero on stream.
Why?
Boycott.
Wait, is it?
You're preaching pro-Palestine and you're drinking all this boycott stuff. Please, Hasan. At least pretend. Do it off stream. Please
Okay,
do
I'll put it in a glass.
What the f does that mean? Please just at least pretend. Do it off stream. It's so confusing. The point in a boycott is you don't want to give money to the organization. And by the way, no amount of boycotting is getting fucking Hasan off the hook because he's an American taxpayer in California. I don't actually know. Is taxes in California high? I think it is, isn't it? He's a fucking millionaire taxpayer in the United States. His money's going to Israel. It's going there whether he likes it or not. What's the argument for Coke Zero? Hang on. Why is Coke Zero boycotted Israel? Let's see. The fizzy drinks manufacturer has long been caught in the crossfire of conflict in the Middle East. From 67 to 91, Coke was officially boycotted by the Arab League for building a bottling plant in Israel. Okay. Do you think the Coca-Cola Death Squad's meme is coming back? Do you think this Coca-Cola plant had a death squad? But why now? It traded in Israel until 91. Did they stop? Oh, this is right-wingers. What? This plot's thickening, guys. Hang on. By the way, as far as I know, Hasan is not like a pro-boycott person. That's why he's got McDonald's in his shorts. I can't believe she didn't see. Oh, God, if only she saw the McDonald's signs, the McDonald's patches on his shorts. In 2023, why are right-wing Israelis pouring Coca-Cola down the toilet? Coca-Cola has emerged as the latest sizzling issue polarizing Israelis in the fight over Netanyahu government's judicial coup. Israelis are threatening to boycott Coca-Cola Israel after the company's CEO came out against the government legislation to overhaul the judicial system. Oh. God, they can't really get any fucking mates anywhere, Coca-Cola. I'll bet you they're suffering, right? I'll bet you they're taking an incredible blow caught between left and right in the last year. Look at that. When is this? When did this happen? June 23. Oh yeah, look at that. Wait, that's the Israeli right wing. They did all that. Look at it. 2016, Coca-Cola inaugurates new Gaza bottling plant. $20 million investment will provide 270 jobs. The beverage company to donate $1.3 million to provide water employment to locals. Bro, is she a secret? Oh my God. Is she a secret Zionist? So the right-wingers don't like Coca-Cola in Israel because they oppose the judicial reforms of Netanyahu. They donated to provide water in Gaza and also had a bottling plant that produced 270 jobs. What did the left wing hate them? Who's the owner of Coca-Cola? New York Stock Exchange? Are they owned by Jews? I don't even. The Coca-Cola company inaugurated its first bottling plant in the Gaza Strip on Wednesday. 270 people. Indirectly support hundreds of households. 20 million investment. Coca-Cola, fourth bottling plant in the territories. 4 distribution centers. The national beverage company and Coca-Cola share great pride in having been part of the fabric of Palestinian communities for almost 18 years, and our new Gaza plant shows our ongoing commitment to investing in and supporting progress in communities around the world, said Muhtar Kent, chairman and CEO of the Coca-Cola company. What is this story? Fourth, probably because they have others in the West Bank and Israel, no? This is absolutely insane. With a total of 600 employees, NBC, which began bottling Coca-Cola in 1998, is the third largest Palestinian employer and fifth largest Palestinian investor. Why? Is she a secret Zionist? Did something change in the last 8 years? I can't. I'm gonna fucking die, man. What the? Why is Hasan not pushing back against this person? You're supposed to be fucking. I know Hasan doesn't agree with this bullshit. He's just kind of playing it off a little bit awkwardly. I know he doesn't agree with this. Like, he's supposed to be leading these. He's supposed to be leading people. His viewers, you know, his audience.
You okay?
And you're drinking all this boycott stuff, please.
Thank you.
At least pretend. Do it off stream, please.
Okay, I'll put it in a glass. Is Pepsi okay?
You misunderstand, ma'am. My activism ends where my hedonistic needs begin. Okay, I don't even.
No.
Okay.
No soda, son.
I didn't know it was like that.
I'm trying to stop it, isn't it?
hosted him in his home and I watched him on stream drink Coke Zero.
Yeah,
It's
but
your house, you get to say no.
Yeah, you should have smacked
You
her
get
out
to
of my
say this
hand.
is a BDS zone.
You're right. Well, we kept the coats outside. We had to go out to get them.
Yeah,
It didn't stop him.
As possible for me to get it.
Well, Shaitan and Shaitan's agent, go to the protest.
Okay, have a
And
good one.
stop drinking
Hassan,
Coke.
oh, she can see. He's turned around. She can see the McDonald's patches in his shorts. She knows they're there, bro.
It's completely right. That was...
Damn.
I beached it. Just like you in Pine Gap, mate.
That's a really good looking squid. It's fucking enormous. Oh boy, what the f am I watching here? Where are the McDonald's shorts? I need them back. Is he strategically keeping them out of the shop for most of the time?
City, same.
Where was he? He was at this little junction when he had them. I need to see him again. I need to see what she must have seen.
And how we fucking hell.
There, look at that.
know
Look, he's a fucking walking advert for the IDF. The company that gives free meals to the IDF troops and shit. She saw this. Being a secret Zionist. She didn't object. She didn't object to the McDonald's shorts. The company that was giving free meals to the IDF. She objected to Coke Zero, which has actually contributed to Gazan humanitarian Gazan humanitarian needs and employs Gazans. Apparently there's more. Oh no, there's not more, is there? There can't be more. The CEO who opened the... Who's this guy? Hang on. After nearly 50 years living abroad, Zahi Khoury returned home and has done what many predicted would be impossible, opening a $20 million Coca-Cola bottling factory on the Gaza Strip. Zahi Khoury is a Christian Palestinian. He was 9 when they left Jaffa. Oh my God. His family... The guy who opened the fucking Coca-Cola plant is a Palestinian. Modern Israel was being born, and his parents, listening to the messengers running into town with news of fighting, decided to leave. He's always second-guessed that decision by his parents. It was a mistake to leave, the now 77-year-old said. It's your home. Jaffa was... what happened in Jaffa in 48? I think, first of all, the Irgun were fighting around the city, and then the British actually fought them off. But then what happened with... Then what happened after... Because Menachem Begin was there, and they were firing mortars into the town square. I don't think Jaffa was ever completely emptied. I think quite a few Arabs stayed. I'd have to look at the full story. I know, yeah, because it's right next to Tel Aviv. Of course, it wasn't fucking annexed. It was allotted to the fucking Jews in the partition plan. It's right next to Tel Aviv. I'd imagine the Arabs were probably placed under military rule for like probably until the 60s. I don't know if I hold it against people for fleeing at this point. Anyway, okay. That's why Khoury went back. After a career that saw him climb to the position of president at the giant Saudi Arabian consumer conglomerate, the Olayan Group, he returned in 1987 to run a Coca-Cola franchise, now a $100 million operation and the third largest employer in the territory with 450 staff. Bro. Jaffa is more Arab than Jewish. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't like one of the places that was forcibly expelled, yeah. So this is an accurate retelling, probably, of what happened. Do I have a complaint in chat? Where is it? It was allotted to the Arabs in the plan. Was it? Oh, I didn't... Actually, hang on. You might be right. How did it get allotted to the Arabs in the plan? Oh, is it because... Yeah, there's a little fucking patch there. Easy to miss that one. Because it's Tel Aviv Jaffa. Okay, gotcha. Sorry, I'm stupid. All right. But yeah, so it did get annexed. Whoops, my bad. Why is it? Wait, I got a complaint in fucking chat. Fuck. I'm quite disappointed. Why do you have so much energy for her, but not for Destiny and his disgusting Pallywood smears? The claim he was making about that particular situation last night wasn't as far-fetched as you think it is. I'm sorry, it's just not. I said I disagreed with it, though. I literally argued with him about this yesterday, you fucking dumb cunt. I don't know why I'm like literally one of the only people who has the ability to convincingly argue him out off of these positions. And you guys come in here like, LonerBox, why have you not fighting with Destiny again? Fuck off. I'm sorry. But I'm dealing with bigger fish here, right? We have a secret Zionist in Hasan's orbit who is getting him to shit on fucking Coke Zero, even though this Palestinian dude literally got a Coke company factory open in Gaza. But she let him get away with having 2 McDonald's patches on his fucking hammies. Bro. What a mess. She definitely had a good view. Where is it? Did they come before or after this? Yeah, they come.
Yeah, sick.
Completely right. That was
Possible for me to get it.
Well, Shaitan and Shaitan's agent, go to the protest.
Okay, have a
And
good
stop
one.
drinking Coke.
See, she sees, right? She knows. She's still talking to him when he turns around, bro. That's why the secret Zionist accusation that Boy was a fucking decoy. Anyway, sorry. I feel like Hasan's response here could have been a bit better. I'm not going to hold it too much against because it's live and shit like that. And you want to be polite. I think even Kyla mentioned it quite well. I won't read the rest of this because it's sort of asking for the boycott is stupid, and the fact that he can't just say no, that is meaningless protest is sad. Yeah, that would have been a better objection. But the fact is that BDS doesn't have to be. BDS doesn't have to be what these guys are saying it is, like drinking Coke Zero, or if you're going to drink Coke Zero, still give them money, but don't can let people know on your stream, even though I don't even know what the contention with Coke Zero is. It seems that Israeli right-wingers don't like them. It seems that they've literally a Palestinian Coke guy opened a bottling plant in Gaza and used some of the Coke money to donate to Gaza's water needs. But apparently that's not important. Okay. But BDS, I don't know why people don't write BDS. Like, people write BDS off too easily. Like, BDS does have functions. It's just the point with boycotts is that this kind of boycotting is just, I guess people just find a random list online that was probably curated by someone who has no fucking idea what they're talking about anyway, and they just list a bunch of companies that have even the loosest possible connection to Israel, and then they just stick on, like, find that list and then just fucking berate everyone who's not adhering perfectly to it. But at the end of the day, there are things that you can do when it comes to boycotting, like as long as it needs to be focused and it needs to be targeted. I think those seem to be, from my experience, they seem to be the most successful boycotting campaigns of what I've read about. Like, there have been like student boycotts that would specifically target, I think it was Bar Ilan University that contributes quite a lot to the Israeli military like Israeli military R&D for the West Bank occupation. There are boycotts that were particularly focused. There's even one on the BDS website. There's one... There was one that was focused on the Jordan Valley settlements. By the way, Jordan Valley, just to be clear, Jordan Valley is a pretty bad one. The Americans... Israel tries to say that the Jordan Valley has an indispensable security function. Most people agree that that security value of the Jordan Valley is... It's not fake, but it is overstated. And I think even the Americans in the 2000s agreed that the Jordan Valley should eventually get turned over to the Palestinians. The problem with the Jordan Valley, though, is that it's here. It's not like on the green line. It's on the other side of the West Bank. It would literally like close Palestinians in if Israel held onto it completely. So Jordan Valley settlements are a pretty bad one. But yeah, boycotting did actually slow down the Jordan Valley settlement expansion. It did. say here, the export-driven income of growers in the Valley's 21 settlements dropped by more than 14% or $29 million last year, largely because of Western Europe, because as Western Europeans were boycotting produce, Western European chains, mostly in Britain and in Scandinavia, were shunning, peppers, dates, grapes, fresh herbs, and the settlers were basically getting hindered. So I wouldn't write off BDS. It's there's a reason that American states try to make it illegal and shit. Like, it does have significance. It's just that because I think people are trying to treat it in the same way that people treated South Africa, where they're trying to say that people should just boycott anything that allows Israel, that keeps Israel existing. I guess the idea is that just to choke off Israel down to every single company, that Israel is just like a pariah state, isolated from the rest of the world. But I mean, that's not really, that doesn't seem to have worked. Mostly because the companies are too big, quite possibly also because it's a pretty shit idea. And even if it worked, I don't really know what good would come from that. But things like this actually do matter. And I feel like, I don't know if Hasan's ever spoken about stuff like that, but I feel like that would be a bit of a valuable thing to replace the whole Coke Zero, McDonald's, Starbucks bullshit.
It's completely right.
Damn. I'll beach deep.
Just like you in Pongap, mate.
Joseph J. LonerBox, is the reason you're so much softer on Israel/Destiny because you received a huge boost from your viewership from Destiny's audience around the weeks after October 7th as being the one good Arab? Interesting. You'd have to also explain why I was fighting with leftists like years before October 7th. You'd probably also have to explain why when literally my audience overlap was with far-left bread tubers, Hasan orbiters, and even Hasan himself, why I made videos criticizing Hasan, why I fell out with leftists over like Palestine even 2 years ago. You'd have to explain all that. I'm nice to people who are nice to me. Like, I don't know. When President Sunday was calming down in the last conversation I had with him, I was calm as well. I feel like this criticism only ever comes from me when people are just like, they're so fucking partisan that they just think there has to be some other reason why he's not behaving in the way that I would like him to. Ugh. I don't know, it's fucking weird. I don't know, unless if you want to come into the Discord and tell me if you think there's anything I'm saying that I don't actually believe, that I'm actually saying things for other motivations or for clout or to try and keep certain audiences happy. If you think there's something I'm like doing there that you can call out, then come and tell me. But I don't know. I feel like I tend to say what I believe, and sometimes it's cost me pretty badly actually, and sometimes it's done pretty well for me. So fuck knows, you know. I feel like that's probably the most consistent explanation for what I do, but yeah, is what it is. Why was I patient with Grace fucking Thorpe yesterday? I have no incentive to be patient with Grace Thorpe. I'd probably like double the viewership if I just screamed at her and called her a dumb bitch. I don't know. Is what it is. But that seems to be like all my critics have at the moment when it comes to my positions in Israel-Palestine. No actual specific disagreement or some factual counter or some, well, this doesn't logically make, there's none of that. It's all just like, oh, are you just doing this because of the shekels? Yes. Anyway. Don't write off boycotts, especially given that Israel does quite and allows quite a lot of stuff that warrants boycotting, and things that boycotting in certain areas can actually yield pretty strong results, as they had done in the settlements. So don't write them off, but also, my God. As far as how not to do it, whatever the fuck this is. Is Coke Zero even on? Wait, is Coke even on this? Amazon. So should the people giving Prime subs to Hasan, I can see why Hasan doesn't support this style of boycotting. Also, I think he realizes that it's meaningless and useless and stupid and bad. Okay. Google, eh? Why is HP there? Oh, because HP does actually have, I think they did. I don't know if they do it. I think they've maybe pulled back on it a bit. HP does or did have connections with the IDF, I'm pretty sure. The computers, not the condiment.